sobrang okay yung location. They also have easy payment terms. I'm not a big fan of their amenities. If you compare it to the actual brochure or to the actual marketing material, medyo malayo siya. They're really one of the most reputable developers in the country. Hello REALPROs! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you're new here in my channel, my name is Richard C. and I am a property expert. This channel is all about real estate investing, condominium living, property reviews, and anything about real property. So welcome REALPRO to this channel. For today, I'll be talking about the developer. So instead of reviewing their individual properties, ang gagawin natin ngayon is i-review ko yung mga pros and cons ng pag-i-invest sa developer na to. So before we start, let's just do the disclaimer. There is no perfect developer in the Philippines. Every developer would have its own weaknesses and strengths. Sometimes this is not what you want to hear, but rather this is from my opinion as a real estate investor. And doing this vlog, I might lose some sponsors, pero again, this is the REALPRO vlog where every day is a good day to be real. So, let's start. So to start off, I'll be talking about first the cons of the developer and then eventually moving to their pros. So our first developer is Megaworld Corporation. So weaknesses niya, well, number one na napansin ko, the turnover is far from the perspective. So every time the property is being turned over, if you compare it to the actual brochure or to the actual marketing material, medyo malayo siya. The concept is the same, but let's say for example, the shape of the pool changes, or the finish or the color changes because nga it's only artist perspective. But unlike another developer, no, whatever is in the marketing materials, it's exactly the same pag tinurn over yung property. So Megaworld could sometimes be inconsistent. It's a hit and miss developer. There are developments na sobrang okay yung gawa nila. There are finished projects na parang so-so lang. Megaworld is a bit expensive with heavy payment terms. The typical payment terms nila ever since was a balloon payment every 12 months or a step-up payment. So when we say step-up payment, let's say for example, you're only paying 25,000 per month this year, and then next year you'll be paying 35,000 per month. On the third year, you'll be paying 45,000 per month. So it's an increasing payment. And for Megaworld, I'm not a big fan of their amenities. I find it too simple. So let's go to the strengths of Megaworld Corporation. So Megaworld Corporation is one of the development with the best location. And when it comes to condominium investing, location is everything. So sa lahat ng developments ni Megaworld, sobrang okay yung location. Because of the reason na they have a very good township development. It's very easy to market. Now, a lot of people do buy Megaworld. There's a certain market for developer. Megaworld is known for good record of capital appreciation or good returns. The values of the property has increased very well over time. Now, especially if you bought Megaworld properties during 2010 to 2012, compare their values right now, it's actually more than double. It's very easy to rent out as well. And to be fair with Megaworld, it has improved big time. So, ang laki na ng difference ng turnover niya from the first projects na ginawa nila and from the current projects na tinu-turn over ngayon. So, that is for Megaworld Corporation. Okay, for Robinson's Land, cons or weaknesses, it's a bit hard to flip due to competition. And they have so much units in one project. In terms of price appreciation, it's quite slow compared with other developments. At times, it can be hard to resell and density can be too high, especially for communities project. And cuts could be a little bit small, but it makes it affordable to a certain market. For Robinson's Land naman, ang strength nila is there are many options for the projects. No? So depending on the location you want, kahit sa province, there is a Robinson's development. So if you really want to buy from them, then for sure you have the option. And there is always a captured market. In terms of their rental market, they have actually high occupancy and low vacancy pre-pandemic. The markets are yuppies or the working class, which happens to be the majority of the condominium market. in Metro Manila. The price is affordable compared to the competitors, and of course, they also have easy payment terms. So another strength of Robinsons Land is it's well segmented. You have your communities, you have your residences, you have your luxury. So it would actually depend on whatever segment pa rin yung performance ng real estate project. Pero these are the things na I see as their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, next. Okay, so Ayala Land in general. So when you say in general, this goes for Amaya, Avida, Alveo, and Ayala Land Premier. So Ayala Land, the turnover can be too simple for the price you're paying because sometimes the unit is not functional enough or parang hindi siya parang ready to just move in based on the turnover. So you will need an interior to make it a little bit more functional. It doesn't need to be like a fully interior condo, pero rather like maybe to add more cabinets, for example, or to add more storages. And another weakness I see with Ayala Properties is that they bank too much on their name. They capitalize so much on their name as an Ayala project that sometimes the turnover is simple. They make it look like that when you invest in an Ayala project, it's guaranteed that you get high returns because they are Ayala, for example. But you have to remember that there's no guaranteed investment even in real estate properties. For strength of Ayala Land as a developer, medyo madami to because they're really one of the most reputable developers in the country. So the name Ayala itself could be a strength because people would want to buy it because it's Ayala. Especially, there's a lot of buyers na parang I heard them saying na parang we only buy Ayala properties. They have a lot of open space and greeneries. They usually have 50% open space in most projects, which makes it sustainable for a condominium living. They promote a good and balanced lifestyle as well. Of course, they have township developments. They have big contribution to the city and to the planning to improve whatever city they are developing in. They have good property management under APMC or Ayala Property Management Corporation. They have a very good track record of capital appreciation. So on an average, Ayala Properties would double in 5 years now based on their historical performance. They have high property yields. They have expensive rent, especially for Alveo and Ayala Land, which gives the investor high yield returns. They have loyal buyers who keeps on buying Ayala properties over and over again. And of course, again, they have the best reputation in terms of real estate development. So that's it for Ayala Land. So cons for Ortigas Land, prices could be expensive and above the market rate, especially for newly launched project. Ang taas kagad ng price per square meter nila. The unit turnover is okay. There are high-rise properties that are located in the fault line, so they really need to do a very good job in terms of their construction of the developments. Most properties are delayed, which is common for developers, and it caters to a small market. So there is a small niche of market for Ortigas Land. So for strengths of Ortigas Land, they are now partly owned by SM and Ayala. So it's managed by the three of the biggest developers in the Philippines. They have unique concept for condominium lifestyle. They have high potential for their properties because of its right market research and right positioning. They have very, very good location and of course, easy to resell the property despite having a small market because the market could always afford the property. DMCI Homes. The weaknesses of DMCI Homes, well, number one, location is not centrally located but still near CBDs. Tendency is you're not walking distance to the mall for most of the properties. You're probably 2 or 3 blocks away. That's why you get the property cheaper compared to other developments na nasa tabi niya lang yung malls or offices. The rental yield is not that high, especially for newly turned over properties of DMCI. I think because the price was high already nung nabili nila. And can be dense as one unit can have multiple occupants. So medyo marami nakatira per unit. So medyo marami gumagamit ng common elevator, for example. And they are prone to physical deterioration and I think because of a disadvantage of the use of their Lumivent technology. So if you would look at DMCI architectural design, it's usually open air, open spaces inside. Okay, for the strengths and pros of DMCI, they're always on time, if not sobrang early nung turnover nila compared to the target date. They have really good payment terms, especially if earlier ka nag-reserve. They have longer payment terms. They have big unit cuts and they have good delivery or turnover of the units for the price you are paying. The parking is affordable. Now, other developers would have parking slots as high as 2 million pesos. Actually, I think below 1 million pesos pa rin yung parking slots nila. And the market is usually end users, so you don't have to compete with the investors market. And it's fairly easy to resell whatever DMCI property. For the weaknesses of SMDC, SMDC could have small cuts. It is expensive per square meter. It's actually one of the most expensive developer price per square meter. Prices can be speculative at times, and majority of the buyers would have the same goal to flip the property even before the turnover balance, which would probably lead to a price war. For the strength of SMDC, they have a very well-designed hotel-like lobby and amenities. No? So it really gives you the opportunity to be able to afford a luxury living or a high-end condominium lifestyle. There is always a commercial aspect into the condominium development, which helps increase the value of the property. Kasi nga nagkakaroon siya ng mga commercial detail sa baba. No? Historical performance, there is a good rental yield for SMDC properties. It is a well-researched market for most of its condominium. They usually have a good turnover, so what you see is what you get. They have good property management as well. They have strict securities, they have strict protocols, they have key cards. They're very well organized, so I think that's one of the strengths of having an SMDC property. They have a very strong market around the world until today, and they have very good payment terms with low down payment, around 10 to 15% DP. So those are the strengths of SMDC projects. Okay, last for this segment, we have Century Properties. So the weaknesses of Century Properties right now, it's hard to flip or resell the properties. I think because there's too much international investors or foreign investors who are not based in the Philippines, no? So they don't really need the property and they just want to liquidate it. And a lot of people are still stuck. They have high vacancies. For the strength of Century Properties, they have a well-conceptualized amenities. So they have a very, very good amenities in terms of the development. They have good unit cuts and they have one of the best turnover finishes. Compared to other developers, pinaka-okay talaga yung turnover ng Century Properties. Because the turnover is livable enough already. And property management is really their strength. They've been managing a lot of properties for so long already. So they have a very good track record in terms of the property management. Okay, Real Pros, that's it for the strengths and weaknesses of our developers. You have to remember that the pros of these developers have outweighed the cons. So as I said earlier, there is no perfect developer in the Philippines. So it doesn't mean that because sinabi ko na ito yung weaknesses niya, I won't buy from those developers. So you've been here for quite a while, you know, I have properties with those developers as well. It's just, I just want to be transparent as much as possible to help you guys. And if this is not what you want to hear or you were offended because you bought a property with this developer, again, I do apologize. This is only my opinion, and if you do not agree with me, just comment it down below, or if you have other opinions regarding this developer, please let me know so we will all be educated in this community. Okay, so just a reminder, when buying from the developer, just do your own research because at the end of the day, you will be responsible for your own investment. Okay, so that's it. So if you did like this video, which I hope you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe, click that ring button so you will be notified for more videos. And don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts. Again, this is Richard C. and I'll see you next week. Bye, Real Pros!